Wrap up binding coil, start up second coil. Ryonje would have you delve deeper into the mysteries surrounding the Elder Primal Bahamut. A crystal-choked abyss lieth beneath the Cardinal Flats, the unholy cradle of an Elder Primal, and by thy hand were the truths great and terrible wrested from those once celestial depths. Yet as is oft the case, an answer doth breed a profusion of questions, and the unknown doth beckon with irresistible allure. Ne'er have mysteries of the Red Moon lain so neatly within our grasp. Lady Alice hath sent word of her coming. 'Tis time once more to brave the precipice and leap unflinchingly into the jagged wound that doth gape beneath the land. Mine apologies, I trust I have not kept you waiting over long. Yours, I am both delighted and reassured to have you at my side once more. I would not waste your time with trivialities. Let us proceed directly to the discussion of that which we have learned, and that which we hope to learn anon. Initially, it was evidence of a new primal that led us to delve into the cavern beneath Castrum Occidents, and to explore the subterranean scars left after the fall of Dalmud. As you will recall, what we found was a vast, largely intact fragment of the fallen satellite, and within the depths of that structure we discovered not the new primal we had expected, but the broken form of Bahamut himself. Yet even this great revelation would soon be overshadowed by the appearance of my own dear grandfather. I have since shared our sundry findings with Rambros, preeminent scholar of the Sons of Saint Cognac, and he, in turn, did kindly furnish me with this theory concerning the Elder Primal's Allegan prison. It would seem that Dalamud was constructed to gather unto itself the rays of the sun, and thence channel its radiant bounty unto the Crystal Tower. The ancients saw great potential in Bahamut's capacity to manipulate energies of otherwise unmanageable magnitude. 'Twas for this reason that they did bind him within the Red Moon to serve as its living core. Do you remember the sight that greeted us at the culmination of our journey? The colossal devices surrounded and seemed to cradle the incomplete form of the Elder Primal. From the information provided to us by the Sons of Saint Cognac, we have learned that these contraptions were termed internment hulks, and that each bore the designation Ragnarok class. The purpose of these hulks is believed to be twofold. First, they are meant to act as binding coils, rendering Bahamut incapable of escape. And the second, they are meant to feed him. Perversely, the selfsame energy which prevents him from moving also serves to sustain his corporeal manifestation. Bahamut is permitted neither to die nor to truly live. He merely is allowed to be. For century upon century was the Elder Primal thus imprisoned, bound about in fetters so subtle in their working, and yet so adamant, that though his cell be destroyed, Bahamut lieth yet at the mercy of his long-departed captors. It has long been held that the primals require prayers of their faithful followers to exist, yet none alive worship Bahamut. Could it be, then, that the Allegans found a way to simulate prayer itself? It seems the only logical explanation. I would postulate, therefore, that the regenerative mechanisms in question also supply something akin to the power of prayer. Consequently, if all of the internment hulks were to be rendered inactive, Bahamut should dissolve into ether. Upon the evidence of thy previous foray, we determined that the Elder Primal is sustained by 3 such binding coils. Thus did we commence to scour the realm, and found in the Twelveswood an as yet unexplored fragment of the Lesser Moon, bearing a most familiar etheric signature. And after conducting a preliminary investigation, we believe we have discovered a point from which this North Shroud fragment and second of the internment hulks can be entered. As Eorzea's sword in the darkness, I would have you once more lead the charge. I will, of course, be there at your side. Once you have made your preparations, head to Fallgourd Float and make yourself known to my assistant, Serpent Lieutenant Anael. The fallen fragment is not far from the settlement, and her position provides a convenient rendezvous point. I will break these Allegan fetters, for they bind my grandfather as surely as they bind Bahamut. Yours, Norse? I have been expecting you. My name is Anael. I have been accorded the rank of lieutenant within the Order of the Twin Adder that I may better assist Lady Alisay with her endeavors here in the Twelfthwood. Such authority has allowed me to act without interference from local soldiery and to conduct a preliminary investigation of the Alder Springs fragment. From what we have seen of the exterior, the structure shares many common features with the one you explored in Lenosha, and likely plays host to a similar complement of guardians. But I fear words alone will do little to prepare you for what lies ahead. Pray seek out my comrade in the south and west. He is charged with observing all that occurs in the vicinity of the fragment, and will be well placed to show you the thing, if nothing less. What business brings you to this broken land? Unless you fancy being ground to a bloody pulp under the granite fists of a wandering golem, I suggest you bugger off. Oh, my apologies, sir. Lady Alisay did send word of your impending arrival, but 'twould seem I've grown rather too accustomed to shooing away curious sellswords and reckless explorers. Behold, if you will, one of the fallen shards of the Red Moon Dolmud. Our initial survey uncovered no evidence of the Empire's presence. Which, while fortunate in itself, meant that the approach to the fragments had yet to be cleared. After much effort, however, we succeeded in carving out a semblance of a path, which should grant you access to the entrance. And that, I'm afraid, is where our progress ended. The interior? Well, assuming that the architecture of this hulk resembles the first, the master controls you seek will be located in the bottommost layer, past all the ingenious and deadly defenses of which the Alligans seemed so indecently fond. If you would know more, I'm afraid there's nothing for it but to brave the depths of the fragment yourself. Lady Alisay will soon be arriving at Falgord. Pray do not tarry on your way back to the lieutenant's post. I imagine our young mistress will be most eager to commence the expedition. The road ahead promises peril aplenty, and I would humbly suggest that this is not the occasion to stint on preparations or provisions. May the 12 watch over you. Master Nars, I trust the private's explanation was worth the journey. Simply securing an approach to the fragment's entrance proved a monumental task. I dare not think of what defeating its inner defenses will entail. If there is aught I might do to aid you... Oh, Lady Alice... Oh, my apologies, Master Alphino. Has there been a change of plans? Oriange informed me of the impending expedition. I merely came to exchange a few words with my fellow scion before he disappeared into the depths of the second coil. Yours, though I would strenuously deny it were she present, my sister's admiration and affection for our grandsire exceeds even mine own. Upon the matter of his legacy, therefore, Alisay is wont to go above and beyond the call of duty. In our grandfather's absence, she has made the salvation of Eorzea her personal crusade. 'Twas that which prompted her to brave the perils of the first coil, yet the fact that she risks her life in this manner is not only the greatest of my concerns, no, it is her subsequent fixation upon my grandfather's shade that worries me most. This quest to rid the world of Bahamut must not become a quest to save a man long dead. My sister must needs have a better reason to fight. A time will come when the fate of the realm rests upon our shoulders, and when it does, we must be strong in our resolve and certain of the stakes for which we risk it all. If there is a wide difference between fighting for the good of Eorzea and fighting for the love of man who died for the good of Eorzea, Alisay must choose her own path. She cannot rely on grandfather to choose it for her, for he is gone. I am glad that it is you with whom she makes this journey. If Alisay is to discover a deeper purpose, where better to find one than at the side of Eorzea's greatest champions? It was there that I found mine, after all. But 'tis past time I was gone. Fair fortune in your endeavors, Viors. Ah, Lieutenant Anael, was it? I would appreciate you making no mention of my presence here to my sister. That would be more trouble than it was worth. Lady Alisay is due to arrive at any moment. I shall abide in confident expectation of your triumphant return. This was the start of the second raid tier of Realm Reborn. There are 4 major fights. Black Shroud. Dalamud's Shadow. I love that. How strange. Why could we not see all this before? I suppose it is only to be expected that corrupted crystals should accompany a disturbance of this magnitude. After all, the fragments likely pierced the ground to a depth of many hundreds of yalms. Swirling ether leaking from the wound must warp the very air, creating a veil that hides these formations from view. Well, it is not as if we expected this to be a straightforward task. Let's tread carefully, shall we, viewers? It is imperative that we win through the depths of the structure and disable the mechanism that powers Bahamut's regeneration. Of course, if we should chance encounter my grandfather upon the way, I shall not let him go again. Not while there is hope that he may yet be saved. But mayhap we should put such thoughts from our minds until after we have successfully gained entrance into the place. That opening up ahead appears to be a suitable point of ingress. Easy does it. Now the boss. Terrifying. Alright. Cutscene? And we're in the device. Oh. Traction. That armor. No, it couldn't be. Be on your guard, viewers. Though it defies all reason that he should live, I know of only one who wears such armor. He whom the Empire raised as high as the Black Wolf himself, the goddess of the 7th Legion. I speak of the madman who brought the Meteor project to fruition. We face the White Raven, Nail Van Darnus, harbinger of the 7th Umbral Era. Nail Van Darnus? Ah, that was the name of the fool who perished upon the eve of the promised age of glory. It should not be uttered within these hallowed halls. Out of love for his loyal servant, the one true deity named me as Nael Deastarus. The one true deity, Bahamut. He speaks of Bahamut. O Lord Bahamut, thy name is as sweet water to parched lips. How my heart swells at thy sacred touch. This blessed sanctum is the domain of my God and his beloved children. Seek to defile its glory, and you will answer to me. It's all crazy. How is this possible? From what Alphino has told me, Nael was slain on the eve of the calamity. Whatever the truth of the matter, we must be on our guard. There can be no reasoning with the worshipper of a primal. That seems awfully one way. That's why you always bring a rope. Gonna get 2 waves? No, just the one. Fake out. Sections are there? We're already up to 8? Ah, there are 8. Cool, I still have my buff. 26. Never mind. This one's kind of delightful. I love the design of getting to the boss here. Wow. 3,256 yalms. That's 3,256 yards, which is probably around 3 kilometers? And like a mile and a half? Something like that? I'm reminded of the passages beneath Castrum Occidents. We must have traveled quite some distance below the surface. More of the same tunnel. 12 be good. Surely they cannot continue all the way down from the upper floors. It's difficult to see inside, but I have a terrible feeling those corridors house more of the dreadful guardians you have already faced. It is said that the Alligans excelled in the creation of chimerical beasts, and that the Red Mood teemed with 1,000 fantastical monstrosities, all to prevent the enemies of the ancient empire from releasing the Elder Primal. I wonder, the creatures which prowl these halls, could they be the beloved children of which Nail spoke? Well, this is yet another mystery to ponder upon our return. Shall we continue onwards? So this one's a series of these jump puzzles. You're supposed to avoid this guy because it'll do an attack on some of the enemies. But who cares? I'm coming into this unsynced. Not worried. Not any particular reason to farm it. I know in Shadowbringers, you could actually get materials that sold for a good amount. That's basically it. If you like the glamour, there is some cool looking gear, to be fair, but that's kind of the extent of it. It's mostly at this point just for the story of it. I have a distinct rotation, opener rotation, that'll optimize damage, and I think within the window I'd want to kill this boss in. Look at the itty bitty legs! Someone missed leg day! Oh man, but look at that brain. There are no mounts here either. I think really just gear and story. So it was really important when it was current, but it's not significant now. Hey, welcome back. That surely cannot be Dalamud. Where are we? The final resting place of Nael Van Darnus. This is a grave for the undeserving. And for the crime of trespassing upon my god's sanctuary, this place shall serve as your grave too. No. In the hour of his failure, Nael Van Darnus felt the current of ether begin to bear away his essence, but before oblivion could claim the last of him, a divine will reached out, and I was born. Then did the words of my God resound in my ears. Bring unto mine enemies crushing defeat, that they might know despair without end, and claim thee thus the victory which thou wert once denied. It would seem that little remained of Nael's essence when Bahamut plucked him from the blink of oblivion, and the result was this strange simulacrum. Nevertheless, her aura bespeaks a great power. She channels the rage of the Elder Primal himself. Lord Bahamut, thy wish is my command. None shall escape thine unquenchable fury. Come, ye dull, unthinking beasts, bare your teeth. They will avail you not in the calamity to come. Her weapon always makes me laugh, for unrelated reasons to the story. Alright, let's see if I still got it. Oh, what a waste. If I drop multiple upon each other, will I be okay? It should be fine. We'll pop a cooldown. So the first set went well. Okay, I can do this. This is easy. I did not... I didn't give myself enough credit. Bit of reverse should hit me pretty heavy. heavy. Yep. Don't stand in the center, but stand close to it. Oh, knockback resist works too. Poor creature, would that you had never been born. You had surrendered your physical form and collapsed into ether, but Bahamut denied you a death and imprisoned what was left of you in an ethereal shell resembling... what, I wonder? Images from your memory, perhaps? That shell is now broken, and your primal deity seems disinclined to sustain your existence. My primal deity? I kneel to no icon. What need have I to beg the favor of such filth? I am Nail Van Dornus, legatus of the 7th Legion. No, a moment. My thoughts are clouded. And this body is not mine own. Could it be that you spoke the truth? Was I ensorcelled by the Lesser Moon's ancient prisoner? That will not happen again. Because if Bahamut no longer controlled you, that's impossible. Once a primal ensnares a mind, it cannot be freed. Unless Bahamut simply relinquished his claim. What need has he of a broken spirit bound for the ethereal realm? Oh, that I should fall prey to the very influence I sought to purge from the land. The irony is galling. But do not assume that all of my actions were chosen for me. It was my will that the Meteor Project be resurrected. Mine and none other. Yet, it seems that my grand designs were destined to fail, even as the ungentle release of death was denied me. Nail, please, you must tell us more of the calamity. I must know the truth of what has befallen the world and what has become of my grandfather, Archon Louisoix. You are Louisoix's grandchild? Ah, the fates are generous with their cruelty. Continue on if you would have your answers. They await you at the terminus of your path. Know that this path leads only to despair. The light of truth was ever harsh and unforgiving. Why do you say this? Grandfather will be freed once we put a stop to Bahamut's restoration, will he not? What are you not telling us? Steel yourself, child. Only unbending resolve and merciless strength can conquer what lies ahead. The weak can do naught but weep under the pall of their own misery, as did the frail child I once was. Silence, shattering raven, your wretched wings are broken, and you shall soar no more. My crimson moon, your brilliance sears my eyes. I recognize that voice of yours, but never would he say such words. Come, let's finish what we came to do. All will be put all right when the final hulk lays dormant. Grandfather will be himself again, I'm sure of it. Bahamut regenerates more swiftly than I had anticipated. Let us hope that disabling this coil will serve to slow the process. The display seems different, but the controls appear to mimic the mechanism we found in the Notion Hulk. It shouldn't pose a problem. Viewers, forgive me. The moment I beheld Nail's transformation, hope wilted in my heart. I did not believe you could stand against the manifestation of Bahamut's power. For all your fabled strength and skill, I felt certain that I was going to lose you, just as I lost my grandfather. Even he, a man for whom naught seemed impossible, was humbled before Bahamut's might. And yet, look how far we have come. 'Tis incredible the feats of which we are capable of, our boundless potential. 'Twas this capacity for greatness, I believe, that Grandfather so dearly wished to protect. With all that has occurred, I have come to understand that much at least. Tis done. Shall we make our way back to the surface and gather our thoughts? We have seen much and that will benefit from Urianger's learned perspective. Grandfather, it is you. Then why? Abandon this quest, all I say. I will not countenance further sabotage of the coils. Sabotage? But we must disable the coils if we are to prevent Bahamut's revival. Your defiance seals your fate. No. No, you are not who I thought you were. My grandfather would never. Foolish girl. How could the White Raven allow herself to be bested by such sniveling opponents? Listen well, we all exist at the pleasure of one divine will. And the word of Lord Bahamut is absolute. Scurry back into your holes, vermin. You have been granted this one reprieve, but should you be so foolish as to crawl into my lord's domain again, I will crush the life from you myself. That light in grandfather's eyes. He has suffered the same fate as Nail. My grandsire is no more. That was naught but a phantom that profanes his noble memory. This mockery must be expunged. I will not rest until I free grandfather's soul from Bahamut's tyranny. Do you hear me, Bahamut? Your time is at an end. Yorzia and my family will be avenged. Truly, it is wonderful to escape that stifling air and return to Northern Thanalan again, it would appear. I must thank you, viewers. Were it not for your bravery, I strongly doubt that I would be standing here now. But you need not tarry on my account. The danger is past. Pray go on ahead and apprise Urianger of all that has occurred. I will join you anon, My thoughts are yet unruly, and I would rest here for a while. The triumphant hero doth return. Then I speak of the dread task's completion. The second coil now lieth dormant. Yet I sense the tidings thou bearest are not altogether glad. Pray tell me, what ill hath cast the shadow which fallen across thy brow? An old foe and an old friend. So 'twas but an ethereal shadow of Master Louis Soir that Lady Alysae beheld, an unnatural conjuration in thrall to the elder primal. That the fiend should deign to choose him of all men, even in full knowledge of the shade's true nature, I would be hard-pressed to weather such a confrontation. Yet what agonies must young mistress have endured? Such torment did she ne'er deserve. Mayhap 'twere better if the Lady Alysae did absent herself from future forays unto the coils. I have come too far to surrender to grief, Oriange. My lady, I am resolved to defeat these fiends, and naught shall sway me from my path. Now, let us peer more deeply into the well of our discoveries. As you wish, my lady. By your leave, I would speak first of the coil's late guardian, Nael Van Darnus. Van Darnus was legatus of the Garlean Empire who strove to bring about Eorzea's final destruction, only to fall even as the sixth sun did yet set. If thou hast heard tales of the White Raven, then it is he of whom they speak. He, I say, for Nael was for certainty no maid. Wrong, localization trick. Noble house of Van Darnus, as we discovered all too late, had long safeguarded the wisdom of ancient Alag. 'Twas thus that the legatus came to learn the true nature of Dalmud, and to seek to employ the Red Moon as a weapon against Eorzea. But the crystal tower and the mechanisms required to command the satellite yet lay hidden beneath the ground, compelling Nael to construct a far less suitable mechanism. And in his first faltering attempts to communicate with Dalmud, he did likely rouse the satellite's slumbering prisoner. Thenceforth did the White Raven's soul belong to Bahamut. He was fortunate indeed to acquire so powerful a thrall by chance. It's little wonder he was so loath to part with him. Why let a simple thing like death deprive one of so useful a pawn? Though we may accuse him of bungling Van Darnus' resurrection, I dare say Bahamut was content to have a handmaiden as a manservant. I only hope that the two thralls we encountered were the extent of his flock. Yet I cannot help but dwell on Nael's words, those beloved children of whom he spoke. I assumed at first that he referred to the moon's beastly guardians, but should Bahamut have enslaved other mortals, we must needs remove the source of worship, otherwise our efforts to disable the coils shall be for naught. Forgive mine indelicacy, my lady. Thou art wise to speak of expunging the primal's thralls, but canst thou truly pursue a course which would cost thee thine own grandsire? My heart and mind are as one on this matter. Grandfather's salvation can be won but by a single method, the destruction of Bahamut, and aught that might serve to sustain him. Viewers, while Oriange and I endeavor to ascertain the existence of any further thralls, I suggest you grant yourself a moment's respite. Rest assured that I will contact you the moment I have need of your inimitable talents. That we have achieved so much I owe to you. I fear, however, that our trials have barely begun. Though time had dulled the pain of thy passing, I find that I am wounded afresh. Master Louis Soir, what good shall come of this unending search for knowledge and truth? Long have I believed the pursuit of such treasures to be the duty of every true Charlayan. Yet when each new revelation serveth only to heap further anguish upon those whom we would fain protect, must we truly reach for more? So you have found your resolve, dear sister. Will you now find a use for the secret, or the key that only you and I hold? Given our familial propensity for curiosity, you would do well to remember that keys may serve to seal doors as well as unlock them, and Bahamut is a most unwelcome guest, to whom the door should never have been opened. Thanks for watching. I currently stream from noon to 4 Pacific time on Twitch and continue this New Game Plus run every Tuesday. If you appreciate the content, please like, subscribe, or watch me on Twitch.